thanks for having me on, guys. This is awesome. Love gear, love talking all about it. So yeah, this is going to be really fun.
I'm so excited. You guys are, everybody, please share this out. Hit that like button. Follow these guys.
When you collaborate, you're building community. So there's so many things you can do for a business with a podcast, for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
How's it going?
Who was talking to you, Siri? I said the A lady. Ooh, Siri's getting frosty because I'm talking to the A people over here. And she's like,
Should I eat this?
Yes.
Because people really want that kind of conversation and relationship.
Yeah, and your show won't be boring. You know.
Oh my God, I love you guys. Chris, you're just amazing. Jim, so are you. You guys are the best hosts ever, I think.
Just
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, beautiful people of planet Earth, as I hit my microphone, welcome to Dealcasters Live. And if this is your first time joining us, where have you been all our lives? I mean, Jim, how many times do we have to go live on this platform before someone is actually, I don't know.
Right?
How many times do you think, yes, Rome Wilkerson, huge fan of this dude right here, and he knows it because I join and jump on his lives. Yes, MCDC, that's right. The Detroit Lions, Super Bowl champions 2024. Book it, definitely book it. MCDC. Jim, do you know what MCDC stands for?
I don't. But I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Oh, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. I mean, we could talk about your Washington Commander skins, or I'm sorry, the football team Reds. What are they again?
I don't know what they are anymore.
Okay, MCDC.
We do have a new OC though. I think I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a thrill to see you.
And actually, I heard the guy that started this Amazon thing is actually considering buying the Washington team. He's talking to his
Bezos
people.
is talking about buying the Washington football team.
So we would be on every Thursday night.
Motor City Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell. That's what MCDC stands for. Our head coach, Dan Campbell, former tight end for the Detroit Lions, who was on the 0-16 team, by the way. So if there's anybody that knows about Detroit Lions, it's Motor City Dan Campbell, but he was also with the Saints and the Giants and the Cowboys. He played tight end for those teams. We won't hold it against him that he played for the Cowboys. Right. I mean, listen, you play in the NFL. This is what you do. So, Rome, yes, what's up, Rising Sun? Detroit is in the house. Rising Sun, what part of the mitten are you from? Point at your hand. So, Jim, if you're from the state of Michigan, this is what you do, right? You go, okay, so Detroit's down here, and I'm not sure, am I backwards? But like if you're, so Detroit's down here, right? Well, it's more like down here, okay? I grew up here, and this is, so it's 32 miles north of the city of Detroit in a town called Romeo, Michigan, which is known for having a certain rock star that went there, graduated a year after me. That rock star's name is Bob Ritchie. Do you know who Bob Ritchie is? Well, we got all kinds of trivia.
Would that be tonight. Kid Rock?
That would be Kid Rock. I got one Romeo. Right. There you go.
I got one right.
That's right. Ba with the ba. The dang Rising Sun. Thank you for joining us. I'm loving the emojis right there. I mean, yes. It's I know Rome knows tech, who's also here in the chat. Rome is like, he's got some science going on with a lot of different things, but certainly with emojis and ASCII and all of those things sometimes in the chart. So look at this. Washington Township all week at 26 in Van Dyke. Are you kidding me? God, that's my stomping grounds right there. My parents
Wow.
for years lived there in Washington Township, and then they moved more into the closer into the city town really of Romeo. So that's awesome.
Village.
Washington Township. It's a small world, Jim.
Wow. It is. And
Yeah.
I've actually, I don't know if I've ever told you, Chris, but way back, you were born at least. Right after high school, I went through Marine Corps boot camp, and I had a friend whose father was, I think he was the vice base commander. I went to Oscoda, Michigan.
I know where Oscoda is. Absolutely.
In the middle of the
fishing there.
winter. It was snowing. Got to ride, it was Lake Effect snows. You're probably very familiar with those.
Oh yeah,
That's
some
something
real
else.
snow, man. That's some unpredictable. That's what you want to go somewhere where there's a fire and four walls and just kind of bundle up and yeah, there we go. Very developed now. Look at that. Look at that. All right, Rising Sun. That's awesome.
Wow.
Michigan, Detroit, all about it in the house. So that's amazing. That's very
so
cool.
people may be wondering how we're doing this. And so we're showing our comments here in Amazon thanks to Ecamm. They have come out with a way to share Amazon comments, which we think is wonderful. I'm going to have some coffee. Since Rome, you needed coffee too. Live happens.
Little competitive coffee.
We also love the people at the Duck, and they are going to be looking into this feature as well. I have talked to them. They understand the importance for creators wanting to engage with the audience, and so we haven't been on here in a little bit, and it's great to see Professor Nez. So we just thought we'd have a little bit of Friday fun, and try
why we needed to go live. Let's just address,
because we haven't gone live since last year.
Well, there's two reasons why, right? And so those of you live streamers like Professor Nez in the house, like my boy Ryan Swanstrom, enjoyed your show today as well. Good to see your live stream showing up on product pages, Ryan. And I know that's been an issue for a lot of Amazon live streamers. Thank you, Professor Nez. We were actually supposed to go live and be live right now, but not on our channel. Many of you know, speaking of one of the best, is Doc Rock. And Doc Rock is, among many things, an Amazon influencer. And he was like, hey, let's do a show. And I was like, Friday noon is the best time that we could do this. And he's like, because I just bought one of these, Jim. I get to bring out this. I get to bring out this big boy.
Are you bringing out the MacBook Pro?
That's right. That's
M2?
right. Yep.
Oh
Let's
my
do
gosh.
this. So I had to splurge a little bit, I figured, once you go on Professor Nez's live stream, you got to level up everything, right? And so I was like, this is what I got to do. So yeah, this is, ladies and gentlemen, the new MacBook Pro, M2 Pro Max, and it's a 16-inch, my camera isn't big enough to have us both on here. I should have planned that, but and it's 64 gigs of RAM. So I do a ton of video and a lot of editing with video. And I was like, you know what? I'm done trying to piece together stuff with popsicle sticks and glue and Thunderbolt cables. I got to get something that's going to last me a long time and is going to be able to render videos that are, 20 gigs of 4K and all that stuff. So that's what I got. And I thought, who I need to do is I need to call Doc Rock. I gotta let Doc Rock know, because he's like the Apple dude, right? He's like the Mac daddy, I guess. And so we need to, I need to talk to him because he knows what he's doing. Well, guess what computer he got? The same computer, Jim.
The same computer.
The very exact same computer. 64 gig, M2 Max, the whole deal.
Well, I just put one in the carousel because I don't know if it's the right one, but I know it's a lot of money, so it might be the right one. But we're gonna share that in case you're thinking about dropping a little cabbage in on a MacBook, folks.
Yeah, why not do that?
Thing you want to do. So.
Yes, Ryan, we are live. And so in my conversation with Doc and Nez, it is so ridiculously fast that I've taken my time to kind of set things up properly. It's going to be my main machine. I also have a Mac Mini with 16 gigs of RAM that is wonderful, but it has an M1 chip in it. Doing video as much as you do, Nez, and it just speeds everything up from a video perspective for sure. And like, I use Final Cut. I don't know, if anybody uses DaVinci or iMovie or whatever you use. It's fantastic. So my question to Doc was, Jim, and we should highlight this in the carousel as well, because the one shortcoming I would say, especially in the Mac Minis, the MacBook Pros do have additional USB-C ports or power or Thunderbolt ports. They do, but you are going to need a hub for, especially as much as we're doing, not only just from a USB 2.0 perspective, right? But you're going to need these powered Thunderbolt 4 ports. So you're basically adding an additional 4 to your existing thing, and it's powered. And look how small this thing is. My favorite thing to do on this, Jim, is to unplug it and then plug it back in, and then it lights up. It's just, I know it's cheesy, but I love this thing. And so this is the third OWC Thunderbolt hub that I've bought, port actually, that I've bought. So I have it on, I've got 2 Mac Minis. One's an 8 gig M1, one's a 16 gig M1, and then the new MacBook. So this is the third one that I bought, because I asked Doc, I was like, okay, surely by now there's a better hub that I need to have. And he was like, no, you got to get this one. And he sent me that one. I was like, dude, I have 2 of those already. I got a product video up, on the product page. So it was like, okay, I guess I got to buy another one.
But to your point, and something that I have, and I don't know, do we have set me up that we can do my overhead? I can't remember if we do or not.
Yeah, let me figure that out. This is what we do here.
But while you're talking about that, so I actually, because I have the M1 MacBook, I should have waited 3 more months. But I did buy this CalDigit, and this has got a bunch of connectors here in the back. You can see it's got the USB A as well as the Thunderbolt 4. You can put in your headphone head. It's got the Ethernet port. I think I'd have to look. I think it'll do 2.5 gig, which isn't enough for me, as you know, Chris. And then you've got the front as well. You can put in your SD cards. You can also plug stuff in the front. So I'm using this with the MacBook because, to Chris's point, you end up having to add all this other stuff. Now, the MacBook Pro, which is nice, does allow you to put a HDMI cable into the computer, so you can have that second monitor right off the bat. I know sometimes people want, it's funny right now, people like, I want to have 4 or 5, 6 monitors. It's like, how do you keep up with all that? That's a whole nother thing. But this has been really good. It's heavy duty. It is powered, right? So it has got to be powered. I'm able to plug my microphone into this. What I'm probably going to do is take my Vocaster or my the other one I have too. I have the Scarlett 2i2. Plug that in because I've got all these extra ports in the back that I can do that with. I will say this, going back to your conversation about the Mac Mini. One of the things that I ran into, and in fact, Chris, you have my older Mac Mini, is that they come most of the time with what is a 1 gigabyte Ethernet jack.
Right.
Well, guess what? When you get high-speed fiber over that, you're throttled at your computer. So
that's right.
For I think it's a couple $100, you can get the 10 gig Ethernet port. And of course, now what have they done, Chris? They've come out with the Mac Mini M2. And it's like they're just going to keep making us chase chips. And it's like, I got to have I've got to have more power. I need more power, Captain.
Here's the thing, and here we are on Amazon, and all these items are available. But I think one way that I, at least early on, and you just said it earlier, Jim, I bought your old Mac Mini. It had 16 gigs of RAM. I bought that thing, right, from you because you were leveling up, and you were like, I'm going to sell this, and if I turn it in, I'm going to be getting this amount of money. So why don't I just sell it to somebody, a friend, somebody that I trust, and not have to worry about it, and just, sell it for the same amount of money that it would get in a trade-in, maybe a little bit more. And, it's kind of a good thing to do. But like initially, before you're able to buy all of this, every time a new MacBook comes out or every time a new whatever comes out, it's not a bad idea to get some used stuff incorporated in what you're doing and get yourself comfortable before you go and have to get that next thing, and that helps you kind of use your budget for other things like microphones and, cameras and all of those things that we also need as content creators, not, so if you save yourself a couple $100 on something, then you can get yourself a Shure MV7X, or you can, get yourself a decent, interface, if you need that for an XLR, microphone. So, Mr. Mod's in the chat as
Chris,
well.
You're going to make me digress a little bit because you brought something up. I'm going to bring something over here.
Best show. We're not even the best show on the interweb. Social Media News Live is the best show on the interweb. So
Chris introduced me to the PlexiCam.
Oh yeah, baby.
And so one of the things when I went to pick up Chris before we went and spoke at Podfest, and of course Chris has got an amazing studio. And so what I did was, I noticed, and I don't have a picture of this yet. I should, but Chris has his monitors both up, and I had one was still on the desk, and I had the other one that is boosted up. But I saw Chris had this boom arm for his second monitor. So recently, that's what I did. So now both my monitors are at eye level, so it's not like I have to look down and look at this monitor. But the PlexiCam, and this is the one that we've got highlighted. With your webcam, I can hang this on my monitor and I can adjust it. And so what's nice is because this is clear, right? If I'm on a Zoom call, and so I've been using this on my MacBook / monitor above it look, where I put this on the monitor. So now I can put the people on Zoom up above, and I'm looking at them, but I'm looking at the camera. And so what's really cool about this, right? It just slides. So you can decide where do you want to put it. And they've got several others. I know Chris is using it with his actual camera, right? There's one that's for a camera. There's one that'll work with a cell phone. I mean, it's a great product, Chris.
So here's a shot there. This kind of shows you, and I know we've got a lot of content creators here in the chat. What's up? Mr. Mod, Christina Nietzsche's husband, Alan DeBay, of course, Jeff C., who, please, Jeff, with all due respect, come on. I mean, you're just being nice now. You're just being nice. So if you can see here, this is how I got it set up. So when I need to look over somewhere, I'm not going, hey, Jeff C., how are you? Hey, Professor Nez, how are you? You get these cameras set up on your monitors, right? And then you get your chats and you get your visibility and you get all of this stuff around you. So you never lose eye contact with the people who are buying from you, listening to you, following you up a hill, working out with, typing on your 1986 IBM keyboard, whatever you're doing, you're going to be able to keep eye contact with people. And this is the other thing, Jim, that I thought about with this thing. This is one of those things where I was like, man, I wish I had thought of that. Like sometimes the best ideas are the simplest ideas. It's like a piece of clear plastic that goes over top of your monitor or your laptop. And now I'll never go on the road without one, because how many times, Jim, do we go and we have, as remote producers, we've got people that, show up and you've got the shot of their ceiling fan and their nose hairs, right? And they're kind of like looking down and just kind of like, and it's just sort of weird. But then all of a sudden you'll just show up and not notice it, but you're looking directly into someone's eyes like you are with you and I. These are the things that you can take with you and be at a hotel room, not just in your studio. You could be anywhere. Hang that puppy up. Use your phone because it's got that clamp. So the one Yeah, you've got the clamp that I've got that as well. And they use, this is the thing. So PlexiCam uses Ulanzi stuff. So a lot of people will use Ulanzi products. I've got this overhead arm that's Ulanzi. And so they actually incorporate, like, instead of them saying, here's something that we're going to create ourselves or have somebody create it in some factory,
Right.
whatever, we're gonna pull it in and we're gonna say Ulanzi, a lot like what Shure did with the Manfrotto
Yes.
tripods with their microphones. They're like, you know what, these people do something great already, like Ulanzi and Manfrotto. So let's just do a deal with them, and when we ship these things, it's going to have that clamp in there in the PlexiCam, and also there's one that you have a light that attaches to the top as well.
And Chris, I know we don't have it in the carousel, but something that I thought about with the MV88. So do you notice at the top here, you can put your microphone in. The one thing that we've talked about with the MV88 kit is that it only lets you have your phone in there horizontal, but I could take this, put this into the MV88 kit, and because this will go vertical, and I can still put in that beautiful MV88 microphone. I'm thinking about doing that with this. So
look at
it's
that.
going to
The
be
gears
like
are spinning.
What do you call it? Jerry rigging?
I don't know. Can we say
Am
that
I
in
allowed to say that?
2023? Ryan, are we allowed to say that? I don't know. Rome, your hair is amazing, dude. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, listen, there's not a lot of people that can pull off that look. I mean, I'm afraid, like one time I shaved my head, Jim. I'm never going to do that again. I got an ugly dome, man. So it's like, it's bad, so not everybody can pull that off. Not everybody is as hairy as Jeff C. and his beard.
Right.
And so speaking of Jeff, the MV88 and the PlexiCam is basically my mobile kit. Awesome. There you go. So like one of the best in the biz is Jeff C., the Manly Pinterest tips, as well as social media news live. The MV88 from Shure, which I don't think we have in the carousel because we weren't thinking about that. But right. We'll add that. And Ryan, thank you for stopping by. Okay, he gives us permission to say whatever we want, but we won't say everything.
If you haven't watched it, you got to check out. I just love it. Talk about originality, or he got to it first. But have you seen his little question and answer thing with the T-shirts? It is hilarious. And he did it with his wife the other day. So he's got a red shirt, I think, that says question. Okay. And he'll be like, hey, whatever. And then the other shirt is blue. It says answer. And then he answers it. So he's creating these short videos with question and answer, and it's just hilarious. And he did one the other day with his wife. It was hilarious. They were talking about hand soap, and he was question and she was answer. And I think she was just glad that he uses soap to wash his hands. So, but yeah, Ryan, I love what you're doing with that originality. But Chris, I thought about it and I just highlighted it. What people may not realize or notice about our voices is even though we're using a Rodecaster Pro 2, and I'm using the Shure MV7X, you're using the SM7B, we are actually both using cloud lifters. I'm using the CL1, and so of course I can't show it to you at the moment. But what we learned, right? We had the honor of getting to meet Roger Cloud at Podfest. Was what this does is, first of all, if I wasn't using the cloud lifter, for those of you that are technical, my dBs would be at about 60 right now with this microphone. But because the cloud lifter gives you that boost, you're not using as much of the preamps of the Rodecaster. And so you're actually hearing more of what the microphone is supposed to sound like. And we didn't realize that until we really got into the weeds with Roger. And it's just amazing. And so they just came out with, and Chris has got it, and I've got it too, the Cloud Lifter X. This literally just launched, February 14th, I think. It was actually Valentine's Day because I wanted to show the love to all the cloud microphone fans. And Joe Dexter, you were one that really made me think about it. You said, I use the cloud lifter with all my microphones. And now I understand why. Because you're getting a much richer sound. You don't realize how much the preamps from these different machines affects it. And so, in fact, it was funny, Chris. I was on a Zoom call last night, and they're like, "Your voice sounds like a radio voice," and all it is I'm just using the CL1, and you help me with all the other
the buttery
settings
smooth sounds of Jim Fuse
to make me at least sound like an adult.
Joe Dexter, man, I'm wearing this shirt today just for you. And I bet you Joe Dexter. So early in the show, my friend, I had to explain what MCDC stood for, but I know you, my friend, know who and what MCDC is. And apparently Professor Nez and Joe Dexter are longtime friends. But yeah, so back to the Cloud Lifter. So just, I think here's the thing on the Cloud Lifter is we can talk about all of the dBs and the clean gains and all of the, thing, but we're going to just break it down for you, because I think a lot of people, Jim, when they think about this, and what they've heard is that you need it when you have one of these, which is the Shure SM7B microphone that I'm speaking into right now. The truth is, it's partially true. Technically, because I have a good interface, which is the Rodecaster Pro 2, which has really good preamps in it, and I still need to juice up my Rodecaster Pro 2 because this microphone is actually very quiet. If I took the Cloud Lifter out of the mix and I just plugged in a microphone and then compared it to another microphone, it would sound really quiet. So, and a lot of it has to do with the distance between the top of the mic and the diaphragm, but it is something that needs more gain. And so what a lot of people figured out was these were actually, Jim, we're going to have Roger Cloud on Dealcasters because this guy is, oh God, the stories were awesome. He's worked with everybody. Pink Floyd, like he's amazing. So these were originally made for ribbon microphones, and ribbon microphones are microphones that they use in like major studios. Still very, very expensive microphones made a very different way, but they need more clean gain in order for you to get the best out of that microphone. So when this microphone, the Shure SM7B, came out and people were like, why is this, it's just so quiet, people figured out, oh, we just need to plug one of these into it. And now, so technically, if we're just going to break it down, it will give you the best possibility of sound out of your microphone before it gets to your interface, before it gets to your computer, before it gets to a mixer or main house or into a big console in a studio. It basically takes it and says, okay, here's the best, loudest signal that we can get out of that microphone. And now you don't have to add very much at all to get the best quality sound of your actual voice. And that's why people use it for broadcasting, is because you don't want a lot of color in the sound. What you hear right now is just my voice. There's very little other things going on. I get a little EQ, little compression, a little of that. But that happens after I send it through one of these. And if you want to sound as good as Joe Dexter when you're announcing a football game, you're going to need one of these, right?
Right.
And so they just released this Cloud Lifter X on Valentine's Day, 2023, in case you're watching this in the future. And this is actually a transformer-based amount of clean gain. And it was made by another U.S. company called Cinemag. That made a transformer. And so there's a couple things that this will do. Number one, it's a different sound. So a transformer mic activator is what they put in these big like consoles that you see in studios, like Neve consoles, and things like that. And so it'll give you like a warmer, more kind of a rich sound. It's just different. What you're hearing now is just my voice. It's really, there's not a lot of sort of color going on with it. This is going to add like a warmer, more round, it's going to kind of fill in the cracks, so to speak. And so not only that, but it gives you an extra 10 dBs of clean gain. So even more gain than you would on your CL1. And so it really has that versatility. And, according to Roger, which I haven't really tested this out yet, Jim, but if you use this on other things like cymbals, drums, when you're plugging the microphone in here, this actually reacts like when you hit it harder, when you hit that sound harder, it actually, works, it activates even better. And you can really kind of get some interesting sounds out of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I do see Jeff has a question, right? Which one do you prefer, Chris? Do you like the?
Oh, Jeff, you're asking me to pick my favorite child. It's like asking me to pick my favorite microphone. Today it's the Heil PR40. Tomorrow it's the Shure MV7X, and so I'm gonna say right now it's the CL1 because when I plugged in the Cloudlifter X, it's different, right? And so you're used to hearing your voice a certain way, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep trying it. It's some people when they immediately plug into it, they're like, "God, that works for me." I'm not there yet. That doesn't mean I'm not giving up on it. I think what I'm going to try to do, Jeff, is, I think I like the SM7B with the CL1 better on my voice, but I'm going to take like the Heil PR37, and I'm going to try it with this. Heil PR37 is, in my opinion, like a fantastic and very underrated vocal microphone. I'm going to try it with the PR30, the PR40 from Heil. I'm going to try, I've tried the MV7X and MV7 through both of these, and I still like the CL1 better there.
Right.
So,
Christina wants to hear the X. Do you have the video where you can maybe show?
I can plug right into it if you want me to.
Okay.
Yeah, just we'll let you ramble a little bit. And so, Christina, you gotta remember my voice right now.
Listen
to
Chris
time
right
you hear
now.
It'll be going through a transformer. More than meets the eye. All right, here we go. Optimus Prime. I'm turning this down. So Jim, go ahead and talk while I hook these up.
So Chris is going to show you. So you're going to see the difference. We have done. He's done some product videos where you can kind of maybe hear the difference. I know I did it with this specifically with the CL1, showing you what it sounds like the MV7X with and without it, and you definitely do hear a difference. No different than the Rodecaster Wireless Go 2 plugged in properly to an iPhone sounds a lot better than the microphone that you get built into the phone itself. So if you're a content creator using your phone, that's something too you might want to consider as well. And so Chris is getting himself plugged in, and he should be almost there.
I've got to bring it down some because it is quite a bit louder.
Yes, so you sound much more robust.
Do I sound robust? Jim, you always say the sweetest things. So here it is. This is the Cloudlifter X, and so I still need to turn it down. Am I clipping at all? It has a lot more gain. I mean, and so on your interface, whatever interface you've got, you will definitely need to dial back your gain, and then kind of dial it up to where you get yourself in that optimal spot. And for content creators, audio is obviously paramount, and you want to be in the yellow at most, green or yellow on your meter, never in the red. Right. No red. And so that's right about -6 to -12 decibels, dBs of gain when you're hitting that. So I don't know, Jim. This is the other thing too. A lot of people that are into ASMR, this is something that's going to get a different type. So if I were up here smacking my lips and doing all of the ASMR things, I think.
It's kind of like you said, favorite child. It's like, so which Chris Stone voice do you like better? It might be tough to choose. So
well, maybe when I launch my ASMR channel, I'll do that.
Well, Chris, you can stay on the show if you'd like, but I know I've got to run. We didn't
Yep.
expect the technical challenges we had, but we thank you everyone for showing up. And Chris and I promise to try to be live more often. We know we were a little slack, but we've had a lot of things going on behind the
We
scenes.
speak for
Well, that
yourself.
I know. Well, you've been busy, Chris. I mean, I don't mean slack and not doing anything. I mean, you like produce like 17 shows a week, and so trying to fit into your schedule is not easy.
I think we have a name for my ASMR channel. It's Stones Tones. I like that,
Oh,
Joe.
I
I
like
like that
I like
Stones Tones, where you can come and listen to me go and chew on gum and do all of that. Dr. Hicks, thank you for joining us. Wow, it's a star-studded chat today.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. And
yeah,
thank you for Ecamm for allowing us to share the comments to the screen. That was a lot of fun.
yeah. Shout out to Ecamm. This has been somewhat of a game changer for us to be able to share these comments and adjust things and kind of like pull this in. It felt today felt very much more interactive.
Yes.
Not having to look at the Amazon chat and kind of like pop around and keep everything
Yep.
integrated.
Yep.
And so shout out to Ecamm Live for this and this new functionality. Folks, we appreciate you being here. Jim has a very, very busy life. You see how many Twitter followers he's got. So we're gonna have to exit. So we'll go back to this look and just let everybody know that we thank you for joining us. And as always, don't fear the gear.